Let's see here. There we go. What's up, Closer Nation? I got some lessons for you today I want to share with you. So before we get started, we'll let this thing do its thing in the algorithm. Leave me some hearts. Say what's up. Let's talk for a couple seconds before I get into all this. I've got some good information for you today, some financial information. Now listen, I'm not a licensed financial person or anything like that. I've just got some common sense things that I've done that I want to share with you because, you know, we get into sales to be rich, and then we do a bunch of dumb shit that never allows us to be rich, and then we end up being a slave to our sales job, right? We get comfortable, we can't leave, everything else. So I'm going to share some stuff with you today. It's going to be a pretty good size or pretty decent amount of video that's going to be shot here because I'm going to be talking to you for a while about some things and some moves you can make to set yourself up for financial freedom, to set yourself up to where you can have the watch, the car, the house, and all that, but do it the right way to where you're not getting yourself into a debt where you're stuck being a slave to a sales job or a self-employed position or whatever the case is. Then I'm going to give you some stuff that you can do to invest, right? No stock tips or anything like that, but some ideas that you can use to invest. So say what's up, everybody. What's up, French? What's up, Christine? What's up, Chris Smith? Glad to see you guys on here. I'm going to have some good stuff for you today. I just want to point out before we get started that I was once again Employee of the Month here at Break Free Academy. Just want to get that clear with everybody. So I see somebody on my team's liking this. What's up? Michael French, put us into it, coach. That's what I'm talking about. Fabio, what's up? Fabio, I love that name, right? I dig it. All right, so I talk to a lot of salespeople on the phone and through the DM. And much like your job, one of the biggest objections that I get is, you know, I don't have the money. I can't afford it. I don't have the line of credit to be able to do that. I'm covered in bills. And I talk to salespeople that are making $20,000, $30,000 a month. And it's sad because a program for us is like $2,500, maybe $1,000, $2,500 up to $25,000. So there's the prices on the programs that we sell here. And I think for a real estate agent or a roofing contractor or an insurance salesperson not to be able to have $2,500 or $5,000 laying around, it's pretty fucking pathetic. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you're making $20,000, $30,000 a month, let's just say you're making $10,000 a month and you don't have $5,000, $10,000 laying around that you can invest in yourself, what the fuck you doing with your life, right? Especially if you're up there in age. I talk to salespeople that are 35, 45 years old all the time that make $25,000, $30,000 a month and they ain't got shit. They got a bunch of bills. They got nice furniture in their house, but they ain't got shit. Now, I'm going to give you some financial advice that I follow because a lot of people don't know this, but I came from the mortgage industry. And while to most people, you think mortgage is the guy that does the loans. Well, I was on the operations side as well, right? So I processed all of my own deals. I didn't have a team. I was a one-man army. So I've seen thousands upon thousands of tax returns. And when a customer who I'm doing the finance for made more money than me or had more investments than I did, I always asked them, you know, as if I was interviewing them for the application, but I always ask them where they got the money, how they amassed it, how they accumulated it, what investments they were in. And while they were filling out this application, I'm really asking, that shit's not on the application. I'm asking that for selfish reasons because I wanted to know how they made money. Because if I see multiple people making money through one mechanism, I want to get in on that shit, right? And so I've seen a ton of tax returns and it pains me when people make good money and they don't have any money. There was a lady I did a loan for one time. She made $12,000 a month, and she was one of the executives in a company that she worked for, plus some bonuses. But she had $169,000. It was either 139 or 106, a fucking crazy amount of credit card debt. And those credit cards each month, because of the interest rates, 20, 30, some were late. So she had high ass interest rates on them. Those things every month were like $8,000. So she's got to figure out how to live on $4,000. Some of that's got to go towards taxes. And here's a person making a $6-figure a year job about to lose their home. I see it happen all the time to salespeople. Right? They go out and their manager tells them to fucking get leverage, right? Go get yourself a bunch of bills so you're hungry and you got shit to pay for, and then you'll hustle harder. And that's fucking stinking thinking, right? If you need bills to motivate you, your motivation's fucked up, right? If you need to go get bills to motivate you to take action and make money, like your motivation's backwards. That's some rewiring, self-deprecating shit in the back of your head you got to get rid of. So I want to help you with that. I want to help make some good financial sense for you today. Some shit they don't teach in school, some shit that you only learn the hard way, and some stuff that'll help you make better financial decisions. So for me right now, some of you that are just getting tuned into the hardcore closer thing that we've got going on, we've had great momentum in the last 2 years, and you look and you say, this dude that drives these exotic cars is about to give us information. This dude that spent all this money on a nice fucking house is about to give us financial information. Well, I don't blow money. That's not my thing, right? Everything that I do, I look at it as an investment. And I'm going to give you some financial sense because while in the last 2 years I have invested in exotic cars, I have invested in watches, I am investing in real estate. And so while in the last 2 years you see that stuff, but you don't know the story behind the story, right? I'm one of the cheapest bastards on the planet. If it's not a deal, I ain't doing it, right? That's just how I am. I hate going to the mall and paying full price for clothes when I can find discounts online. Like, I am a cheap bastard. And up until the last 2 years, I drove a car that cost $386 a month. I leased it. I leased an Infiniti Q50, I think is what it was called. I leased that car. I lived in a house that cost me total taxes, everything out the door, $2,500 a month. And I've been living with that level or even below that level. I wore a Fitbit. I'm still wearing jeans right now that I've had for 6 fucking years, right? I bought this shirt as though it's really cool looking. I bought it off of Amazon for like $16, right? Like, that's just who I am. Do I have a nice watch? Yes, but you bet your ass I got a deal on this, and if I needed to sell it, I would, right? I look at this as an asset. It really is. It's diamonds, and it's a Rolex, so, you know, it's an asset. If I have to sell it, I can sell it for a lot more than what I paid for it, is what I'm getting at here, right? So I look at everything as if I got to sell this thing, and this is the first thing I want to teach you here. I look at everything as if I want this, am I getting a good enough deal on it to where if I had to sell it, I'd take a small loss or I'd break even or make money, right? A lot of people, they go out and they buy brand new shit, right? I remember when I was a loan officer, I was making $25,000, $30,000 a month. And at the time, I lived in a house I rented for $1,250 a month. And I was dumping all my money into real estate flips, right? Every dollar that I had, I would dump into real estate, right? And I'm trying to build a portfolio and flip houses and manage some rentals and everything, man. Every dollar I had, I'd go over to my friends' houses for like UFC fight night and shit, and they would have $20,000, $30,000 theater rooms in their house with these amazing couches and speakers and sound effects, and every area of their house was fully decorated and absolutely beautiful. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, I make twice as much a month as this person's making. They got a bigger house than me. They got more shit in this house, which I know costs money because I can't even fill up the damn house that I'm in now. It's fucking expensive. I'm talking about in present day. The big-ass house I live in now, it's half empty because I'm only going to buy it if I can get a deal on it and make it work right. I don't give a fuck if it sits blank for a little while until I get it done right. I'm not impatient. And so what I would do is I'd go over to these friends' houses and I would see they had all this shit that was better than me, right? Badass cars, badass houses, badass furniture. And I got to come home to my little, you know, starter home, driving my lease car and making more money than all of them. And I always thought, how the fuck do they afford this stuff? But you see, I never looked at credit the way that most people look at credit, right? Most people go get a credit card at a furniture store or a theater store. They go get a credit card, and what they do is they charge that credit card up, right? And then they pay it off. They look at it as like an installment loan or some shit like that, right? I never looked at it that way. I looked at credit cards as only an emergency situation. And so in my life, the reason why I never and still don't have a whole lot of shit in my house or have a whole lot of stuff laying around is because if I want something, I go out, I work for it, I earn the money for it, and then oftentimes when I actually have the money to spend on something, especially if it's expensive, I find I don't want the damn thing anyway, and there's something I can do with that money that's better. And so I've always just learned to be patient and not need right now shit, right? Because if you are making $30,000 a year and you're broke, man, I feel bad for you because you're making good ass money, right? $360,000 a year is good ass fucking money, and then you're having to live worse than some people who've managed their money correctly on $50,000 a year. That ain't right. It ain't right. And so I want to help you. So I look at all these friends and I realize they're charging up credit cards and running up, you know, furniture store, installment loans and all this shit, man. And I'm like, dude, I've always just lived on cash. I finance two things and two things only, my house and my cars. That's it. Other than that, I always live on cash. Well, about 5 years ago, a smart person that was helping me with some operational stuff said, hey, man, stop using your cash. And this is where I want to start teaching you lesson number 2 here. He said, stop using your cash. Instead, go get you an Amex card, right, which I Got the good old Amex card right here, right? They say, go get you an Amex card and charge everything on American Express. And at the end of the month, you got to pay it off. All you do is pay a $500 fee per year and you get points, and then you can use the points to get free shit. And I went, what? You can use a credit card to get free shit? And so 5 years ago, I started using American Express for everything. Right now, our company puts 6 figures a month on the American Express Platinum card that we have here. Some months, multiple 6 figures. And I've amassed a massive amount of points. So when you see me traveling first class or you see me staying at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and shit like that, just use Amex points. This shit's free for me. And I'm going to spend the money anyway, and the points aren't taxable. So I get to use these points that's free, that's not taxable, to benefit myself personally, that we're running through the company. And oftentimes when I'm traveling for the company as well. But my wife and I, we went on a vacation this year just from Amex points. And we went on a fucking lavish vacation out in Laguna Beach at the Surf and Sand, and we did all that with Amex points, right? Every single bit of it. Didn't cost us a single dime to live in the fucking penthouse for a week at one of the nicest hotels in Orange County. So you got to make good financial decisions, putting everything on an Amex and then paying it off at the end of the month, because you don't pay it off, they coming for your ass. They will report you to the creditor and everything. Teaches you not to spend more money than you're willing to spend at the end of the month, right? But then you're doubling your money because you're getting points, and that shit builds up. The third lesson I want to teach you is go out and get as many credit cards as you can. I know a lot of people say, what? You're just talking about how to make good financial sense. Go out and get as many credit cards as you can. Specifically, if you can find credit cards with 0% interest rate, right? Usually they'll do a 0% interest rate for 24 months or 12 months. Go out and get, while your credit's good and you haven't fucked it up yet, and you haven't maxed it out yet, go out and get every credit card there is out there. If you look right here, this is just one of my many drawers with a shit ton of credit cards, right? The reason why I got all these credit cards, and most of them don't have but like $100. You gotta leave some little balance on it. Most of them don't have but like $100 charged up on them, right? And so I got 30 something fucking credit cards, and I don't use them, right? Occasionally, to make sure that they stay open, I might put something on it and alternate them around, but I pay them off at the end of every single month, right? And I pay my Amex off the end of every single month. Here's what happens. If I get an emergency situation, I've got $300,000 worth of credit cards I can start charging up to build whatever I got to build back. My fucking business back, my advertising back, my leads back, my fucking pay my employees. I've got the fucking lines of credit already established, and I built up a good enough credit score for myself by paying things on time, things like a Rolls Royce and McLaren and everything else, right? A big ass house that's worth over $1 million. I pay these things on time for years now, so I have good credit. So they give me these 0% introductory rates, right? So they'll give you 0% APR on any charges for the next 24 months. Well, if I got a $25,000 credit line, I can also, in the case of an emergency, I can also pull that money out interest-free, go invest it in something, get my money back, pay it off, and keep the profit instead of 20% interest going towards the credit card. You see, I always look at myself as like, if shit falls apart, at least I got credit cards, right? Like if I can't cash nothing anymore, because like if shit falls apart, I'll fuck my credit up. Because another good lesson for you is to take care of your significant other. My wife has perfect credit, no debt, no mortgages on her credit, no nothing. Everything is on me. So if I fuck up at one point in the future, heaven forbid some shit happen to me and things get out of whack, she's not responsible for any of that shit because I got it all separately than her. It's not going to affect her credit. They might bother her to pay for it and everything else, but it's not going to destroy her credit because I'm the one that signed for all this shit. I don't get my wife involved in things because she knows everything. Don't get me confused there. She knows everything, but at the same time, the reason why I don't put it on her credit is because if shit fucks up with plan A, she's plan B. You see what I'm saying? Her credit is plan B. I go back, I open all the credit cards up in fucking her name, which she already has like 10 or so open in her name that she uses every month, little small balances, and pays them off the same system here, so that she's built her credit up to where she's got perfect credit. And if I make a mistake or if something happens to me, she's not responsible for these big ass bills that I've got sitting on my burden, like the real estate bills, the car bills, the office bills, the operations bills, payroll, all that shit falls on me. And so the Amex points are huge. Credit cards are huge, especially if you can get them for 0%. and you can find an investment that's going to pay you back. Say you take out $20,000 at 0%, you invest in something that's going to pay you 10% back. You'll make $2,000 off of it within 6 months. The next thing you know, you've got $2,000. If you can duplicate that, you turned a $20,000 line of credit that didn't cost you jack shit into $4,000 worth of profit, right? Worst case scenario, if something ever happens to you, you've got credit cards that you can use. If your assets get frozen, if you go through a divorce, if the IRS gets a hold of your bank account, or whatever the fuck can happen, man. Business is a crazy place to be doing things. You're taken care of. The next thing is you need to start investing in something, right? Like stop. I'm going to teach you 2 things about this. When we make money and we go out and buy shit, right? I saw this from my parents. My parents would get paid and then they would go buy stuff, right? My dad, he liked guns. My mother, she liked makeup and purses. And so they would get paid and they would need the dopamine hit of buying stuff. Well, I inherited that from them, right? I watched it for many years and didn't know the difference. And so I inherited that gene from them, that trait from them rather. And so what would happen was when I would go get paid, I remember when I was working as a mortgage person, every week I would get like $15,000, $20,000 paycheck. Every other week I would get a $15,000 or $20,000 paycheck. The first thing I did was I would go to the mall and I would spend $200. That was it, right? $200 on a new wardrobe, right? I might buy just a pair of jeans, or I might buy 2 or 3 pair of shoes one pay period. But I only went shopping on payday as a reward to myself. After a while, I was like, you know, shit, I got all these jeans and all these clothes I don't even wear. I'm not really a big clothes guy anyway. I had to go to the mall the other day. Fuck that place. A bunch of hassle that I don't like dealing with anyhow, right? And so I said, okay, so here's what I'm doing. I had that epiphany where I'm like, I see the pattern. Okay, I see the pattern here. Every time I get paid, I feel like I got to spend money. I must be uncomfortable with money. And so I started thinking, oh shit, well, if I'm uncomfortable with money, why am I uncomfortable with money? I realized in my childhood, I watched my parents make money, lose money. My grandparents make money, lose money. So I thought if you made money, somewhere in my subconscious, I thought make money, lose money. So here I am trying to do my best to lose it. So instead I said, well, I got an addiction. I'm still going to need that dopamine hit of buying something on payday. I know myself. I'm still going to need it. So what did I start doing? I opened up an E-Trade account and I started buying $200, $300 worth of stocks every time I got paid. So every time I get paid, I've got $200, $300 worth of stocks. A few months later, I'm making, you know, a little bit more money, and I put $500, $600 every pay period. Then it turns into $1,000, then $5,000 a month. I look up, I've got a multiple 6-figure stock market account just a few years later. Right? I'm still buying something. I'm still getting that hit, right? I'm still getting the dopamine. I'm still getting the peptide. I'm still getting all the feels. The difference is I'm also taking a chance on getting a return. And then a lot of people say, what stocks do you buy? I just buy make sense stocks, right? Follow Warren Buffett's method, right? If people are going to continue to use Facebook, why not buy Facebook? If Amazon is going to continue to be around, why not buy Amazon? And I don't look at it every day so that I see the ups and downs. I buy stuff and that's it. Right? If I go to the store and I buy a pair of jeans, I don't look at it every day and go, them jeans, I'm going to wear you one day. Right? I don't do that, right? I just buy them, and when I want to wear them, I want to wear them. If I want to check them out, I want to check them out. Treat stocks the same. I didn't buy them to make a quick buck off of. I bought them for a long-term investment. And so here's the thing, right? That's a good example, right? Pick your quadrant. Rich Dad, we over here, we don't call it the quadrant, we call it levels, but it's very similar, right? You've got the sales professional, the self-employed, the CEO, and the investor. It's very similar, Rick. But here's the thing. You got to have something to invest in. You need a side hustle, right? And a side hustle could be something that you actually have to do sweat equity in, right? That could be your investment, the sweat equity that you're making, or it could be something that you just put your money in and somebody else is going to work. First of all, I like to be diversified. So I have invested in real estate, which we have 2 closings so far this month, probably 3. So I've invested in real estate. I've invested in software. I invest in the stock market. I invest in myself because Warren Buffett says the best investment you'll ever make is the one in yourself. I have invested in crypto. I got the fuck out of there when Bitcoin hit 19,000. I bought it at like $6,000 and profited there. I invest in exotic cars. People see me drive these exotic cars. They don't realize what's really going on. I buy these cars right. I drove an Acura NSX for 9 months and it cost me, I think, $9,800. That's $1,000 a month to drive a $210,000 vehicle. Think about that. You can't lease a BMW 500 for $1,000. You know, not a good one anyway, let alone here I am. I'm driving one of the biggest supercars that's out in the market right now, but I bought it correctly, right? The green McLaren that I have right now, I bought that thing $10,000 under what the typical person would even trade to a dealership for on that. Somebody need to get rid of it. I had the money to pick it up. I'll drive it for a year. I'll get all my investment back. I'll get every dollar. The only thing that could fuck me up is if somebody wrecks into me, right? Other than that, I'm going to get all my money back, right? When I sell it, I'm going to be sitting in it right. I'm going to get all the investment that I made. So basically, I've gotten to pay up front as an investment, but I got a free McLaren that maybe a McLaren that'll cost me $5,000 when it's all said and done because we got to work in maintenance and all that shit. Maybe it'll cost me $5,000 when it's all said and done to own the damn thing, right? Same with my Rolls Royce. I bought that at about $50,000 below what they were going for online, and so I sit on it, drive it for a couple years. If I want to sell it, I get all the money that I made on the payments back, and I'm not out $200,000 up front. I'm just making $2,000 a month payments on it. When I go to sell it in 2 years, if I get $50,000 or $60,000 back on the car, and I broke even. I'm not trying to make money off the cars, but I look at it as an investment. If I go out and I buy an Infiniti or I lease an Infiniti, every dollar that I put into it, I'm going to lose in the end, right? Or I'm going to end up using as the cost of using the car, and it's just a regular car, so I figure I might as well think big and go big. But you need a side hustle, right? And you may not have a lot of time, so you may say, man, I need a side hustle, I don't have a lot of time. Put your car on Toro. If you really need money, if you really want to pay off your debt, which I'm going to talk to you next about how to pay off debt. If you really want to pay off your debt, you're going to need more money. As my buddy Matt Monero says, you're going to need more money. Put your car on Toro, right? While you're at work during the day, let somebody else drive your car that's got license. They got insurance. Probably your car's not that badass anyway. Get over it. Let them fucking drive it. I let my friends drive my shit all the time. I got Rolls Royces and McLarens and stuff. Like, it is what it is. Everybody's got insurance. Like, Toro takes care of all that. Put it on there. Drive for Uber in the nighttime and sell motherfucker shit, right? Get them. I'm serious when I say this. If you need money bad and you need to pay off your debt and you're willing to do whatever it takes, go sign up for an MLM and pitch strangers in Uber all night. Some of you are going, that's a dick move, but if I got to feed my fucking family and pay off my debt, strangers about to hear me sell them some fucking pills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not scared. That's why they call me the hardcore closer, because if it comes time for me to get hardcore, that's what I'm going to do. So you need a side hustle. Go to funnelcloser.com and look at the program that we have there. It helps you make additional money selling one of the most in-demand products on the planet to businesses that need them. Funnelcloser.com. Get an affiliate gig going on. Sell phone sites for us. Go to phonesites.com, sign up as an affiliate, and from there you can sell our software and get paid 40% recurring income on everybody that you sell. Use that income to pay off your credit cards and your debt, pay it down, bam, right? I see y'all laughing because you know I couldn't do this without pitching y'all on some stuff. So next thing, let's talk about the snowball method of paying off debt. Here's what happens to most people. See, it's all in our minds, right? Like me going out and realizing that I was caught up in the thought process of my parents of make money, spend money, right? Right? That was all in my mind. Once I escaped that and I changed my mind, I changed my life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change your life today by changing your mind on how you deal with credit card debt. And I learned this from Dave Ramsey many years ago, but I'm not as extreme as him, so I'm going to give you a little varied method of it here. But here's the thing. You have to change how you look at debt. Most people, they get 4 or 5 credit cards. They've got multiple $1,000s on each credit card, not enough to pay them all off. So they make minimum payments here and $500 extra here and a couple minimum payments here, right? Then when they get the statements next month, the insurance accrued, and it doesn't even look like they've paid anything down. So psychologically, we go, well, fuck it, this ain't working. This is exhausting. I'm paying every month, and it's like I'm on a hamster wheel. Every month, I'm paying these folks money, and my credit card debt's not going down, right? And so here's what you got to think. Pay them off one at a time. Make minimum payments on every credit card that you have but one, and any additional money that you can have, pay that card down. The next month, same thing on that particular card. Next month, same thing. You'll start seeing the numbers drop, and what happens is psychologically you go, shit, I'm winning. This shit's going down. Meanwhile, who cares about the other ones? Minimum payments on those. Pay that one till it's completely paid the fuck off. Then guess what? Whatever amount of money you were paying on that one, you just freed that money up, plus whatever extra you were paying, pay down number 2. Same thing, month after month after month. Make the minimums on 3, 4, and 5 and pay down number 2 till it's completely paid off. Then you've got the money from card number 1, the money from card number 2, and you can dump that into number 3 and pay it off in a third of the time. The 4th one, you pay it off in a quarter of the time. The 5th one almost pays off automatically. That's called the snowball effect. Most people try to manage debt. They try to pay this here, and it doesn't look like you get any results. So psychologically, you go, well, fuck, this isn't doing anything for me. And so what you have to do is pay off one at a time. Just like I said, man, that's the biggest thing that when I was a mortgage consultant and people had credit card debts, they're like, well, I'm trying to pay this one, that one, this one. I was like, no, let's just pay this one off, Then we'll go on to this one, and I would give them the advice because A, that's going to help your credit as you pay each one off, and leave it open. Do not close it. If you have a credit card, do not close the account. Leave it open because you might need it in the future, but don't buy fucking home theater furniture and wheels for your fucking car, right? And so you go and you pay it off one at a time. Then the next thing you know, you got all this credit card stuff. You could pay off whatever else that you have, right? You want to pay down your mortgage with the extra $3,000 or $4,000 you got a month from being out of credit card debt? Pay it down. Some people go, why would you want to pay off a mortgage? Sometimes it's nice to wake up in the fucking morning not owing the bank any money. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's nice to have a paid off vehicle and a paid off house if that's what you like. Me, I choose to finance mine, but it's not for everybody. You see what I'm saying? It's not for everybody. If you would rather sleep well at night knowing that you don't owe anybody any money all to you, here's the fucking snowball effect to make that happen for you, right? If you don't mind having a little debt on your cars and your house, cool. Here's how you pay off your credit cards and keep rolling forward. But here's the best part. What's up, Jesse? Here's the best part. The best part is when you have those lines of credit, your credit goes up, you can apply for more credit cards, and you can establish fucking money out there for an emergency system, or you can go get more 0% interest credit cards so you can use 0% money down to make a return from the investments that you're making. So I want you to think about that. I want you to implement this, and for everything that I've ever done for you, do me one favor and stop blowing your money on stupid shit. Right? I'm telling you, as a victim of the addiction, I have been there, and I hope my goal with this video was to set you free. My goal with this video was to change the way that you look at debt, to change the way that you look at spending your money, to change the way that you look at being a sales professional. Because here's what we know as a sales professional: we get paid on Friday, we're broke on Monday. It doesn't have to be that way. And if you need to be broke on Monday to have that motivation, first of all, that's fucked up. You need to rewire that. Get over there to the Get Your Mind Right podcast. Start on episode 1 and listen to all of them daily. The next thing is, on top of that, when you change your mind to how you look at these things, if you need to blow all your money to stay hungry, go blow your money on investments. Right? If you need to spend money to feel good, spend money in the stock market, spend money on buying a business, spend money on investing in somebody that can make something happen. Spend money where it's going to be money that comes back to you. Don't just blow money. I can't sell none of those jeans. I can sell this watch, right? I can't sell none of my t-shirts that I've spent money on, the nice ones, the dress shirts, whatever. But I can sell my cars, right? So don't invest in anything. Don't invest much into anything that's not either a necessity or that you can't get a return from it. And just be patient. You know, one time I went in and bought my very first watch, and I was totally against watches. I said, man, what do I need a watch for? One of the guys that was in the McLaren club with me said, dude, you need a watch, man. You're in the McLaren club. You got to look a certain way. You already got the car. You need the watch. So I go into the store. The store tells me that this watch is $15,000. It was a Hublot Black Magic, which I own. They say it was $15,000 plus tax. I go out, make a few phone calls, get on the internet. I found the same watch for like $6,800 and I bought that bitch, right? I saved half the fucking money. So my thoughts is, if I need to sell this watch for $6,800, I'm gonna break even. Maybe I can get $7,000 for it, because compared to what they're selling them in the stores for, that's still a good deal. So now I've got something that I've invested in, but if I need to sell it, if I need $7,000 real quick, I can fucking go probably pawn it for that, right? Some of y'all watch dealers like, not here at my place, whatever, you know, it's special edition. But anyway, that's my thought process. I'm looking for deals. So hopefully this helped you. And hopefully you'll actually do this stuff. You know, these are the things that our parents oftentimes don't teach us because they don't know. School doesn't teach us because they don't know. Well, I just taught you, so I want you to implement this and stop blowing your money. Start investing it. You can still get that same dopamine hit. Just rewire the actions that you're taking in the place where you're spending money. So if you enjoy this, make sure you share it, post it in all your groups, all your social media, tag a salesperson on here. Head over to phonesites.com, get you a free 7-day trial. We'll catch you on the next video. Later, Closer Nation.